So I think action figures have peaked with this thing. It really doesn't get any cooler than this, but it's like $300. Let's open it up, check it out, and of course do some toy photography. So this right here just might be one of the most beautiful things that I own. Yes, you too, pal. But this right here, this might be one of the most beautiful things I own. This is a 1/6 scale Gypsy Danger die-cast figure made by Gong Studios. Wait, no, it's not 1/6 scale, because Gypsy Danger is like 260 feet tall. It's 12 inches tall. Let's see, if there's 6 in an inch, inches in a foot, 6 is 12 inches tall, to exceed in a mile, 200 ounces in a cup. 1/260th scale? This might be. Actually, you know what it is? It's just giant scale. It's big. This is big. So if I'm being completely honest, I've never heard of Gong Studios before. I certainly don't own anything from Gong Studios. So I just randomly saw an ad for this thing and I pre-ordered it instantly. This is probably the fastest pre-order I've ever. And I've ordered it from Pop Mart. You know, like those cute little chibi things? Pop Mart. Yeah, that's where I bought it from. That's just I saw an ad and I bought it. I did a video recently on some of the Ling Jihun Pacific Rim figures, and I could not believe the response from it. I was expecting like, you know, I don't think there's a whole lot of love for Pacific Rim anymore, but oh well, I'm gonna make the video anyway because I love it. And I couldn't believe the response from it. So if you watched that video, thank you very much. And if you're a Pacific Rim fan, I love you. You're awesome. And hopefully if we keep buying them, we keep getting more figures like this. And oh boy, and now I'm really looking into the Infinity Studio ones that everyone was telling me to get, and those are a lot of money, but this guy was, right here, was around a little over $200, I think. But if you do want one of these, I'll put the link in the description for a couple different places of where you want to buy it. I'll give you the option. Man, this thing is crazy. Just look at this packaging. Oh my gosh. All right, enough yapping out of me. Let's just open up this figure from Let's just open up this figure. I really do believe that we're in some kind of Pacific Rim renaissance or something. Like, we've got this figure I'm opening up right now. I just got in the Ling Jihun Gypsy Avenger, and then just like yesterday, the leatherback Ling Jihun figure is now on pre-order. Like, what's coming next? Like, this is amazing. Like, what a time to be alive. This is just so awesome, and yes, I will be doing videos on all of them. Don't worry, it's happening. If you like these videos, make sure you're subscribed. I just appreciate you watching either way. Look at this absolutely beautiful hunk of metal and plastic. This thing is amazing. By the way, I'm taking feedback from my last video. I kept calling Gypsy a he. She's a girl, you're right. So she is a thing of beauty. Just look at her. Look at her, she's heavy. She's so heavy, and there's a lot of weight on her legs, so like you plop her down, she's not falling. Like you do not have to worry about her falling off the shelf. There's a stand to help with that, but still, she's sturdy. Holy cannoli, she is. She also comes with a pretty extensive, not even instructions, not even destructions. This is a user manual. So I'm gonna like read this like from front to back because I want to make sure whatever I do with this thing, it's correct. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually look this over for a while. So I've read the directions. I mean, I've read the manual. But before I get into any of that crazy stuff, I just want to talk about how just incredible it looks. Obviously, they didn't miss a single freaking detail on this thing. Like, everything is perfect. It's not quite as shiny as those Ling Jihun ones. I do love the shininess on those other ones, but I think this one might be a little more accurate. But I mean, the details are perfect. You know, these even got the pinup girl right here. Everything is just beautiful. The outside, all of the blue kind of shell, kind of whatever you want to call it, that's not die cast, that's plastic. But just about everything inside, that's where the die cast is, because this girl is heavy. She's a heavy girl. Okay, let's get into the stuff that's in the directions. Okay, so the first cool thing is if you push in the little yellow clear part of her face, you're gonna get, it's kind of hard to, there we go. Look at that. Beautiful light. It's bright. And all of the batteries are already in this thing. You don't have to install anything. It's just there. So you just do that. If you have fingernails, which I don't, I bite my nails. So it's probably a little easier for you. But if you just click her face, she turns on. But just wait. So if you turn her around and you push this little thing right here, the left vent thing, check this out. You are not ready for this. You're not. I wasn't. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at that. It's lighting up and it's spinning on its own. It's just spinning. What the hell world do we live in? This is just ridiculous. This is so cool. Listen to it go too. It's got a little bit of a whistle going too. All right, I don't want to do it too long because I don't want the batteries to die. But the manual does have instructions to open it up and replace the batteries if you need to. So that's great. So she comes with these separate plasma cannon hands, and all you gotta do is just click that and it turns on. How freaking cool is that? That's amazing. Then afterwards, you can put this little thingy on there, get the little plasma effect going. Amazing, amazing. Then if you want to change it, pull the arm out. Very nicely comes out. There's this nice little metal rod. Great, perfect. There's a perfect little straight edge on there, and there she goes. Just like that. Put the thingy back on, clicker. Absolutely beautiful and amazing and incredible. So we've got some swords. We've got the sword that's still being chained, unchained, whatever, and then a fully ready to go sword. So to put them in, you actually have to split these up. This forearm, her forearm splits open like this, very nicely, and then you can just insert right in here, just like that, and then close again. Can you close it all the way? I don't know if you can close it all the way. Let me look at directions. I don't think you can actually, but if you kind of close the back part, it kind of looks natural, like it's like split open, whatever, to be used, and it looks good. So that's fine, I guess. That's totally cool. And her hands are articulated, so if you want to make a fist, you gotta go ahead and make a fist. There's no hand switching going on here. You just make yourself a fist best you can. There you go. There's your Arthur fist right there. Nice. So you've got great movement with the arms. You've got all that. You can get a T-pose, move these shoulders all the way around, and you can move in and out, kind of like this. It's pretty great. I would say it's not as good as like those Ling Jihun as far as articulation goes, which is fine. You can also move these back like this, so those are out of the way. That's really great. And so if you look at the chest, when you move arms around, you get a little bit of movement there on those little chest pieces, just like the Ling Jihun 2. They move a little bit differently, but it's pretty awesome. Like, that is just so freaking cool. Also, with the arms, you can turn these all the way around, and then you've got that's more than a 90-degree angle right there with the arm. Like, that's amazing. Like, absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Boom! Look at those guns. So the knee movement is quite great. You can get all the way up like here, and you can see all of this beautiful piston inside stuff, which is just wonderful, and it feels good to do it. It really does. Like, come on, man. Speaking of the legs, you can pop this out, move these down, and then with that, you can get like almost a full split with those. Like, that's pretty incredible. Boom, just like that, amazing. So a pretty cool feature too, if you take the little collar on the side here and pull away, the cockpit head part comes up a little bit. It doesn't really give you much more turning room. I guess it's just kind of like cool. And if you want it to go back down, you just go, which that's very satisfying. Pushing that down like that is very, very satisfying. I'm not exactly sure what the point of this is, but it's cool. It's definitely cool. And this part was a little tricky. So to go along with the fist is if you pull this out, take this little effect right here. This is the elbow rocket. You stick it in there, like this, right there. Remember, look, read the directions. And then you gotta put it back in a little bit. And it's a little tricky to do, and you're gonna end up bending this back a little. Well, not like that. You're gonna end up bending it a little bit to get it to fit in there, but just kinda pay close attention while you're doing it, and then it'll eventually will go in. And then you've got yourself an elbow rocket. Fantastic. It comes with this very nifty stand. So if you take this stuff, you can put it all back there to store it, just like this. Then you can take this stand and twist it either on the back or the front. Then you've got it in there. So I tried for a while and I could not get this out. You're supposed to be able to take this part out of his, like, her butthole, basically. You're supposed to be able to pop this out, which I cannot get out. And so then you can attach this right here into the back, and then she's secured in the stand, which is great, but I just cannot get this out. I can't. I even tried using like a tool and I just can't do it. So if anyone could, and they have this, how did you get this out? Let me know. Was it not that hard? How did you get it out? But either way, I'm probably just gonna stand it on the stand like this and call it a day. All right, the figure is, how tall is the figure actually? It's actually a little under 12. It's more like a little over 11 actually. Yeah, that's not quite 12 inches. It's actually pretty below 12. It's almost like 11 and a half. So if you want to compare it to some other similar sized figures, here it is compared to a Hot Toy. A little smaller than a Hot Toy, actually pretty decently smaller. And then if you want to compare it to a Mondo, which is the Mondo Doomslayer, I love this thing. A little bit smaller than the Mondo Doomslayer. Then if you really want to make her look small, here she is compared to the 1/6 scale 3.0 T60 power armor from Fallout. Jeez, that's a pretty big difference. So what are we giving it? A W, or are we giving it an L? I'm gonna turn that off. It's a little bit loud, but I mean, it's one of the most incredible figures I own. Like, the fact that it spins and lights up is just wild. It's so beautifully crafted. This thing is just an incredibly beautifully engineered piece of work. You know, it's amazing. I'm so happy to have it in my collection. It's $280 though. Like, that kind of price tag is just like, not a lot of people are gonna be able to pick that up. I'm so grateful that I can, you know, and fortunate. So there's nothing bad about the figure. I didn't run into any issues except for taking his butthole off, her butthole. Couldn't do that. Not a big deal though. But I love the way the battery's already in there. Turning things on is just so easy. Usually this stuff is hard and a pain in the butt to do. You know, I love how easy that is. Come on. There we go. So it's a W for me. It's a W for me, but I'm really curious, like, do you own this? Do you think it's a W also? Or do you are looking at this and like, I'm not paying $280 for that? Come on. I would love to know. Let me know in the comment, because I'm very curious, but W for me for sure. Well, it's a shooting and reviewing video. Honestly, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do to shoot this thing. I don't really have anything that scales with it. It's hard enough getting things to scale with it and the other size figures that I have, let alone this. I might just do something goofy and funny. I might have to. And it's winter out. Like, if it wasn't winter, maybe I could take it outside with some trees and make it look big. With the winter right now, I'm not bringing this in the snow. Hell to the no. Sorry. Usually I don't care about that, but this, no. I'll figure something out. I'll have to do something fun or funny, I don't know. So the Pacific Rim Godzilla crossover that we've always wanted is finally here. Well, kind of. Remember how I said I didn't really have anything that's scaled with this size figure? Well, sometimes when things are out of scale, it can be fun if you take advantage of it. So Gypsy Danger is taking her Dogzilla out for a walk, and it's taken a number 2. Yes, just when you thought I was done with Godzilla poop, you were wrong. And so that's a Hershey Kiss, by the way. Right, I am just so I don't know what the word is. I was gonna say smart, but that's not the right word. And Gypsy Danger's also holding a little poop bag to make sure she can scoop it up, but they're gonna need a bigger bag. That's not gonna fit in there. But anyway, I got a little chain that is wrapped around Godzilla's neck, like a little leash. And I did use a stick to hold him up like this, and that's it. Sometimes I go crazy with the effects. The only effect there is a Hershey Kiss dump. And this is what it's looking like in person. And you know what? Yeah, it's just on my counter. We're not on an actual road or whatever, but that's okay. Clearly we're working with things that are already out of scale, and we're only embracing that with the fact that it's just on my kitchen counter. You know what I mean? So my setup with lighting is pretty much the same as it always is. I've just kind of got, light that goes all the way around to get rim lighting. And yes, rim lighting is the best thing in the world as far as Pacific Rim lighting. Oh my God, man, I'm glad. If I had let myself go through this whole video without saying that, there would have been problems, but I did. So we've got some Pacific Rim lighting going on here to, get the outsides of the figure well lit and pop in a dark background. And so that just involves lighting the outside rims of the subject. And great, really, really great. These are all made by LoomCube, by the way, if you're interested. I've got discounts on LoomCube linked in the description if you want any of that. Also, the little poop bag is literally just a plastic bag, and I put a couple of screws in it to give it a little bit of weight and make it look like, there's some poop in there. So the only thing I have to do is turn on her lights and take the photo, and that's it. We're all set and ready to go. So let's go and do that. Honestly, what an absolutely incredible work of engineering for action figures. It really doesn't get a whole lot better than this. It really doesn't. Honestly, just the fact that you have a light up chest that spins and it's so easy to turn on, it's amazing. I'm very happy with this, but I'm really curious to know what you think. Is this a total waste of 300, or is it actually worth 300? I think it is. But definitely love to hear what you think. And if you did enjoy the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Of course, this photo will be posted up onto Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. If you want to follow my work on any of those platforms, it's all linked in the video description as always. And thank you so much for watching and getting all the way to the end of the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.